Thank you so much for that report. We'll continue to follow it. Meantime, Canada continues to sell fewer goods to America. Exports last month came in at around $4.3 billion. That's the lowest level since the pandemic, thanks to the impact of the U.S. tariffs. For more insight, let's bring in the host of the Charbonne Report, Michael Charbonne. And also with us is the president of Strelmark, which is a business development consultant firm, Hillary Forwich. Great to have you here. Michael, it feels like there's a lot of momentum here. Canada's trying to make this deal with the United States in terms of its tariffs. What's the latest here? And as the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, did he do some damage here with trying to put this digital tax on technology?
Well, the digital tax was rescinded. You see, it was supposed to take place on July 30th. There was a $2 billion bill that was due. And President Trump said, you're going to put that tax on us. All the trade agreements are on a hold. So that really put a huge kibosh on what Carney had arranged with Trump, that at the end of July they were going to have some kind of an agreement. The interesting thing, though, is that the digital service tax also is in existence in Italy, France, and the UK. Japan is watching, so is Australia. They all put it on hold while they were negotiating with Donald Trump. So a lot of them are looking at what's going to happen. I mean, this is a significant tax. And if you recall, during the inauguration of President Trump, he was surrounded by the icons of digital life. And something like that could be worth billions of dollars is a trade impasse for sure.
And but that's where we're at now. I mean, whether or not he can continue to make this deal, the Prime Minister. But I want to get to this, Hillary, because the president did pull off another victory. There are countries that are coming to the table with deals, and Vietnam is one of them. The country's now going to pay a 20% tariff on all U.S. goods, while America will have more free trade in that country. The White House says that a deal with Japan is unlikely. They're still working through that. How is this going to impact the wallet of Americans, and how much are we going to now take in from countries like Vietnam?
Well, great question there, John. And a couple of things. It's really important because I always wonder who made the previous U.S. trade deals. Think about Japan, for example. We are on the verge there. Of course, President Trump has said, they have a rice shortage. They should be importing more of our rice. Do you know, John, that they literally only imported $16,000 worth of $160,000 worth of U.S. cars, and they exported 4 million to the U.S. There's hardly any American cars in Japan. Who made that trade deal? That trade imbalance, and it's 10% of their GDP. That is their car manufacturing. So this is really important to them. Now to your question, what does this mean to an American? The minute that we get parity, the minute that we get fair trade deals, that should be huge in the American pockets, and also reshoring manufacturing, because when those cars are made here, those are American jobs, American salaries, so that's money in Americans' pockets.
Going back to Michael here with Canada, I want to ask you, we're hearing that less is coming into the United States from Canada. What's the feeling like, because you are in Canada right now, among Canadians? How do they feel about the trade deal?
Well, I mean, we're very upset up here because the economy has been definitely affected. You can notice that the traffic on the bridge going between Canada and Detroit, and Windsor is the word I was looking for, that it has gone down. We see the Canadian loonie now is at 73%. Manufacturing of cars in Canada has gone down by 5.2%. Our GDP has shrunk. I mean, we're seeing a 2% economic impact on Canada. So these trade negotiations are very important. This 50% tariff on steel and aluminum. We need to make a deal. We need to make a deal that's going to be good for both of us, because now these effects are starting to trickle down, and they will start to affect Canadian and American cities. So we got to make this deal. And hopefully by July 21st, John, is when President Trump and Prime Minister Carney said that they were going to make a deal.
And Hillary, going back to you on that, because it's been with the biggest trading partner in relationship, the Canada, the U.S., and as Michael just mentioned there, the Canadian economy is hurting. But is the U.S. gaining from this by cutting off a little bit of the trade to Canada?
Well, yes, absolutely. And they need us way more than we need them. But I think something else that you raise is very important to think about, this digital service tax. And with regard to the EU, Michael mentioned the EU as well. They're looking at this very closely. And my message to the rest of the world is, look, you stifle in entrepreneurship. You're so regulated. Look at America. Look at the deregulation. We're an entrepreneurial economy. We do it all. And then all of a sudden you want to tax our American companies. No, look at our example. Do as we do, and then you'd have that same revenue too.
Absolutely. We have to leave it there. Hillary Forwich, Michael Shervon, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming.